I have a box full of goodies back here. Just give me a moment here. All right. As you were reading off your paper, I was thinking that was probably a smart idea. Have it a little bit bigger to see, but I wrote mine on my notepad on my phone. So it's in very tiny print. So what does zero waste mean to me? I had a bit of a, I guess, different approach, but that's the point, is we're all individuals. So we all have an individual approach on what this means to us. And there's, as many ways of participating as there are people in this room. So what zero waste means to me is not wasting time, not wasting energy, not wasting resources, not wasting money. And I just want to share a little bit about what I have done in my life to streamline these. So I came at it from a bit of a different approach. I think I've always been aware, and of course when recycling came out, that was really big in our household as well. It was pretty exciting. Some of the other pieces I feel in the early days weren't there, but you live and you learn. So first of all, I did a lot of downsizing, decluttering, and deleting in my house, and donating. So to me, the process in which I used lends itself to my zero waste journey. So I waste a lot less time by having less stuff because I'm more organized. I have less physical stuff in my home. I have less to clean, less to manage, less to maintain. I don't spend time looking for lost keys because I don't have a lot of clutter. I've decluttered not just my home, but my calendar. So COVID was a big thing for everyone. We all got to stay home and figure out new things to do. Well, once all those things were deleted from my calendar, when we started going back out into the world, I didn't feel the need to add all those things back in. And I feel that that has contributed to, I feel that my happiness and joy level has gone way up because I'm not just busy doing stuff for the sake of doing stuff. So I'm curating my life to only include those things that I truly wish to do. And we all have our responsibilities, and I'm not saying I never do anything that I don't want to do, but it's getting there. And like I said, it's a process. Saying no to those things that suck my energy and my soul. That's what I put. Not filling my calendar for just the sake of being busy. I've embraced a quiet and peaceful and slowed down life. And when I downsize and declutter, I donate to various groups in need in Sarnia-Lambton. And this has been throughout my journey. Of course, this type of lifestyle progresses in layers. First, in my first round of downsizing and decluttering, I decluttered a certain amount, and then I got comfortable with that. And then you start to look around a little bit more, and you're like, oh, but yeah, there's still clutter sitting around here. So then I decluttered more and more. So this is over probably a 5-year journey. And I found a huge shift in my attitude and mindset, which comes from learning about myself, my habits, and my motivations for why I used to buy an excess of stuff. This is where sort of the zero waste is coming in. So that was sort of a long-winded explanation. So it just made me realize that I used to go buy stuff because I wasn't happy with who I was in here. And so now that I'm a happier person in here, I don't need to go out and shop. Because what I used to do was I'd go out and shop and feel immediately better, and then I'd get home and feel the buyer's remorse. So zero waste money. Let's talk about that for a minute. So I'm talking about smart consuming, smart shopping. So actually this might sound boring, but I rarely actually go into a store other than a grocery store. And if I'm looking to buy anything, like something for my home or whatever, I actually usually check like online marketplace or whatever first, thrift shops, that type of thing. And I think long and hard before I actually purchase something. That way I reduce my reason to impulse purchase. I buy most of my clothing secondhand. I have only as many clothes as I fit in my space that I have. So I challenge myself to have one dresser and just my closet, which neither are a huge space. But winter is one dresser and one closet. Summer is a little bit different and a little bit more of a challenge. I'm a little bit of a free spirit, and I love to go camping. And so I spend most of my summers camping. So my summer wardrobe challenge is one of those 3-drawer little Rubbermaid things. And I've actually now figured out how to rig up a thing that goes between the 2 handles in your back seat. So I can hang a few clothes on that. But I rarely actually hang clothes in the summer. But so I challenge myself, and I only keep what's in that space. So zero waste to me means it's not only what I consume that needs to be thrown out, such as packaging, it's what I buy in the first place. So like I said, I don't buy a lot of excess. Am I perfect? No. I've been streamlining and experimenting with myself, my processes, my habits, and I've come to what works for me now in this 5-year journey. Maybe in another 5 years, I'll have adopted a different system that includes more things. Or more processes, I should say, not more physical things. Life is always changing and growing and evolving, and yourself, your person, your lifestyle, and your habits and interests, they all change and evolve and grow as well. Okay, let's get to what I do buy. So this is not just one of my favorite stores because my sister-in-law Laura owns it. I was a customer before Laura did own it. But I do, some of the things I love to buy here are the do-it-yourself ingredients, because I make my own deodorant, lip balm, hand soap, and cleaning products. And I have a lot of scent issues, and I also like to know what I'm putting on or in my body. So I use more natural ingredients, things you can find in your kitchen, usually. And yeah, so I make my own products. Sure, it takes a little bit of time, but it's fractions of the cost that you would buy in the store. And then you can choose your container you want to put it in. It's not a plastic container you're buying every time. So that's one of the things. I make a lot more simple ingredient recipes at home, and I have a couple of staple things that I always have in my fridge or freezer. One is a muffin that I make that I always have a stockpile of in my freezer, and that's kind of my go-to protein. And actually, the muffin recipe might be a little bland and boring to some people, but it's 0 sugar. There's actually no sugar in my recipe. I only use fruit and applesauce to sweeten, so it's all natural sugar. I don't eat out a lot, but one of my goals is to have a to-go kit in my car. So I appreciate restaurants, and like I said, I don't eat out a lot, but I appreciate restaurants like A&W trying to do their part, even though it is plastic. I feel like this is a step in the right direction, and it's a refillable, reusable cup. And actually, I personally don't like drinking out of metal containers, and I'm a little bit clumsy, so I don't favor doing a glass water bottle. So I opted for plastic, and I actually love the drinkability. That's actually now a word in my vocabulary, because when you take a sip, it just makes me want to drink all this water. So I feel like that is a step. I do actually want to create a kit, and I've heard mixed reviews on restaurants accepting when you bringing a container and saying, can you please put my takeout in this? So I have done it a couple of times where I've had my own container, and I just asked them to bring it out on the plate as if they were serving me in the restaurant, and I just put it in my own container. So this is something that I actually want to strive to have in my car at all times. Not that I eat out a lot, but when you surprise yourself and you decide you want to do it, it's good to be prepared. Items on my Great Lakes Refill list. I exclusively pretty much buy all my baking supplies here. I'm personally gluten-free, so she has a crispy rice cereal, which is like my staple go-to snack or breakfast. And then I like to top it with the Santiago Trail Mix, and it's like a little mix of nuts and seeds and raisins. Raisins are currants?
Currants.
Yeah. So it's actually quite delicious. So those are on my staple list. The thing I love about coming here is you can buy a lot or you can buy a little. I'm making that recipe that has that really obscure spice. I don't want to go to the store and have to buy a package that I'm probably never going to use again, and then I'm just going to throw it out like 5-10 years later. So I have the miniest spice set ever because I have it for camping. So I actually have converted a child's paint set that came in a little case, and it had 12 little jars inside, little pots. And so when the kids were all done with painting, we're using up all the paints, I said, what can I use this for? So I hung on to it until I went camping, and then I was like, this is perfect. So then I just came in here and filled each one with all of my favorite spices. So now I have my own little spice kit, so I can spicy camp. All right, I have built a system with jars at home. So here's my gluten-free flour, which is a huge staple because I do a lot of my own baking. And then I usually just keep like my trail mix and cereal. I have like a little canister set. I have a separate shelf so it houses all of my jars. And I didn't bring everything, but I'm just giving you an idea. I have nothing fancy. They're just jars. I do have like a little canister set that is about this size, which are nice as well. And when I'm getting low on something, usually I have a set of like, I have a few extra jars on the shelf. So I'll be like, oh, I'm getting low on trail mix. So then I take one of my extra clean jars, write trail mix on it, and I put it in my little to-go box here. So this is my system. I put everything in here that I need to refill. And I probably come in like once a week to get my staples. The thing I would suggest is starting small or starting with one thing. So just start by replacing each thing in your kitchen as you run out of it. So you run out of that bag of sugar from the grocery store, you can find a jar, or she has jars here for purchase, or she has donated jars, and then just fill up your sugar. So just as an example, it's really about finding a system that works for you. And of course, I've tweaked it over the years. This bag is the best thing. I never have to remember what I need to buy because the jar is in that bag, ready to go when I need it. Yeah, I tried lots of jars and canisters. I didn't need to have a fancy set. I will share a couple of my other favorite things from the store, but because I bake a lot, the silicone baking cups, these are what my muffins get baked. I actually have 2 sets because usually half of them are in the freezer with made muffins and then, or drying in my dishes. So I have 2 sets so that I've always got a dozen on hand for when I want to bake the next ones. These are also a staple. I've got the re-zipped baggies. These are the size that work for me best. They do have smaller and bigger. Larger. Yeah. So this happens to be the size. Also the unpaper towels, as you can see, mine have been washed and used and loved for years and years. I bought these when they only came in gray. And as you can see, there's now an array of colors and patterns you can buy. So just to walk you through a day, in the morning when I'm making my lunch for work, I just put my sandwich in here, wrap it up, and then I put it in the baggie, and then at lunch, I never have to really touch my food. I just eat my sandwich out of my napkin. And I also do that with an apple, usually every day. I wash the apple, and I put it in my little reusable paper towel. Now, I still admit that I do use the odd paper towel for like really messy or oily jobs just because I don't want to wreck these completely. So, see about that. And I actually asked Laura if I should talk about this because, well, it's a little bit personal. So could we just get a little bit personal? So I would say that I have been doing this since about 2017, and I had heard about this crazy idea of people using personal cloths instead of toilet paper. So I thought, intriguing, I'm gonna try this. So I found some, like, just cheap washcloths from the dollar store at the time, and I started using those as toilet paper. Now, probably the common question you're thinking, like, ooh, gross. I only use them for number one. I don't use them for poops or periods. Just saying. So over the years, I found that even washing a whole washcloth, because I kept them whole initially, was too much. So I ended up cutting them in half. So are they pretty? No. They might be pretty colors, but they're effective. So I just have this, literally this box. I have, basically it's full, excuse me, and I have a little, it's like a little trash can with a lid that I put the used ones in until I'm ready to do laundry. And then I honestly just do them with my regular laundry and put in all the, whether I'm using the sanitizing load, then I just put these in with it. So.
You're not alone.
I'm not alone?
No.
Awesome. So, like I said, oh, and the good thing is during the big toilet paper crisis of 2020, I didn't have to worry. I actually did get down to 2 rolls of toilet paper, put out a call on my Facebook, and someone actually dropped me off 4 rolls on my porch, which I thought was very lovely. But I didn't really have to worry because, and I can't even imagine how much money I've saved of not buying toilet paper. And I live alone, so it's just me. So no one else uses these. There's my own personal. And I just can't imagine the money and the paper that's been saved of not creating the toilet paper that I use anyway. And yeah, so it's a system that works for me, again. So like I said, I've been doing it for probably about 7 years. Alrighty, so yeah, start small. Start by adopting new habits about spending. Start by decluttering or downsizing. Find a system that works for you. Start wherever you feel most comfortable, and then go from there. Just start. And I want to refer to the quote on the wall. It says, "We don't need a handful of people doing zero waste perfectly. We need millions of people doing it imperfectly." And so just start. Make your mistakes. Try again. That's all you have to do. Just commit to one thing right now that you can do to begin or enhance your zero waste life. The last 5 years of this journey have taught me to be kinder to myself